Hello, my Facebook friends. I hope everybody's doing well tonight, enjoying your day. You know, heard a long time ago that every day above ground is a good day. There's something I'd like to address tonight. Um, I'm probably the most adamant Trump supporter you've ever met. Um, I believe that Donald Trump is probably the greatest president we've ever had. Um, and I support President Trump on everything. But there's things that are bothering me right now. Yesterday we lost or was it 2 days ago? Oh, whatever. We lost a great American, and I see my Facebook friends over there who are Trump supporters call this man a traitor, and I don't understand why you would call John McCain a traitor, a man who has served his country admirably. John McCain spent almost 6 years in a uh, war, uh, in a POW camp. And John McCain's father, who I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was head of the South Pacific Naval Fleet or whatever, and John McCain could have went home. And his father had actually worked it out that he could go home. And John McCain said, no, I'm not going. There are people who have been there before me, and they need to go home for. So I'm really disappointed in my Trump friends and my Trump supporters. Like I said, I'm the most loyalist Trump guy there is. Do I agree with everything with President Trump? No, not at all. I'm not going to agree with a lot of things, but I'm really sickened by the way they have disrespected this man's death. I've seen people call him a traitor, and why is he called a traitor? Because he told Trump to gave him the bird when he voted against the Affordable Care Act. This man served his country admirably. As much as I love Trump, Trump didn't go to Vietnam. And John McCain did, and was shot down and spent 5 years in a POW camp. And I've lost some Facebook friends over that, and I really don't give a damn, to be honest with you, if that's how they feel about it. Because Donald Trump, because John McCain was probably the most had the most integrity of any person I've ever seen, because the old Maverick, as they called him, whether he agreed with you or not, he was going to stick to his guns come hell or high water. I can remember I got the most respect for him that night when that woman said something to him about, Obama was a Arab or something. I didn't trust him. And McCain grabbed the microphone and said, "No, ma'am, you're not going to speak to him about that." He said, I respect Senator Obama. We may disagree on things, but you're not going to speak to him that way. But, it really sickens me the way that the Trump people are now talking about the old Maverick. And remember, guys, I'm a Trump guy. I voted for Trump, and I've stuck by Trump, hell or high water. But the way they have treated John McCain's death really sickens me. I've unfriended some people on Facebook on that because, John McCain was a man of integrity. I don't think there's ever been a man who had so much conviction that he would go against his own party and his own people to stick to his convictions, even if it hurt him politically. And it probably cost him in the 2000 race, and probably cost him in the 2008 race. But, McCain was a man of integrity, that believed in what he said. And I believe McCain really cared about the American people. I never seen McCain really want to, try to get wealthy off this country, and for me being the big guys, and remember, I'm the biggest Trump guy in the world, but for only to lower the flag at half mast for half a day for a war hero really kind of sickens me. And I'm really, it really disgusts me at my Trump friends who think about this. And you know what they're mad about? They're mad about because when the Affordable Care Act came down for the vote, McCain voted no, and he stuck his finger up and basically said, fuck you. That was the old maverick in him. And you've got to respect that. Come hell or high water, McCain was going to do what McCain thought was going to be best for the American people. America lost a great hero that day. It really sickens me. I've unfriended several people on Facebook on that because, they've called him a traitor. How do you call John McCain a traitor? A man who spent 5 years in a POW camp, and you call this man a traitor? Who's he a traitor to? Are you a traitor because, he didn't vote with Trump on everything? Okay. And like I said, guys, everybody knows me. I'm a big Trump guy. But, do I agree with everything President Trump does? No, I don't agree with everything he does. Does that make me a traitor? It really sickens me that this man's death has been politicized on this right here. And you know what? The old Maverick, I loved him. I loved him to death, because I never gave up on him. Because I'll tell you this right here. I thought if anybody could have beat it, it would have been him. Because that was a tough old man. And, he fought back and, came back many times. And I thought if anybody could have beat that, it would have been Trump. Or, excuse me, it would have been McCain. And, I'm it really kind of bothers me now because, I know lines have been drawn in this country. But for you to go against a man who served his country admirably and then to disrespect him in death because he didn't agree with you, I can't go on with that. And if I lose Facebook friends over that, so be it. Because I guess I kind of a maverick too. I really don't give a damn. I've always liked John McCain. I've always respected John McCain. But for you people who say John McCain was a traitor, how dare you? How many of you people have been to a POW camp and been held up by your arms and been tortured for 5 years and then refused to go home because you wanted your friends to go home before you? I mean, the way that man was treated, and I'd seen one guy today, and I told him we was no longer friends because he said McCain did not deserve to have the flag flown at half staff because he was a traitor. I don't get it, guys. I don't get it. I guess we've become a country now that if you can't agree with everything, then you're wrong and you're a traitor. But for somebody to call McCain a traitor, why don't you go get shot down over Vietnam and spend 5 years in a concentration camp and be treated like that? I don't understand that. John McCain was one of the great heroes that we ever had in this country. And for the Trump administration and for the Trumpettes, and I'm called a Trumpette because, look, I voted for Trump. I'm all in on Trump. I've been on him for the day, but I'm very disappointed in the way that Trump has treated McCain's death. I'm very disappointed in the way that some of these, I guess far right. At one time we had a country where we had Republicans and Democrats who worked together for the American people, But now it's became a thing that you're either Republican, a right-wing Republican, or a socialist Democrat, and you can't work together. And I just don't understand, why this man is being treated like this in death. If you hated McCain that bad, why didn't you talk about him when he was alive? But for these people to come out against McCain now in his death, and talk about him the way he is, it really sickens me. And you're talking to a conservative Republican who is all in on Trump, but I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, this guy, served his country admirably, served his country in Congress, and he was not in it for the money. McCain was not in it to get rich. McCain actually cared about your American people. My liberal Democrat friends I've never heard them say anything bad about Senator McCain. And why do you attack a man in death? That's really what bothers me about some of these of some of my Trump friends. And I've unfriended some of my Trump friends on Facebook, because to call this man a traitor, how do you call this man a traitor to this country? Why? Because he did not vote against the Affordable Care Act? I wasn't for the Affordable Care Act. I didn't think it was a great idea. But, I'm not going to call somebody a traitor. It just really sickens me. I mean, this was probably the most admirable man we ever had. He would have been a great president. He actually stood by his convictions. I mean, come hell or high water, whatever McCain thought he was going to do. But, why can we not honor this man in death instead of attacking him? It really sickens me. And for my Republican and Trump friends, you should be absolutely ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should think, you should be ashamed of yourself for attacking this man in death. That is absolutely despicable to me. Why didn't you attack him when he was alive? But you should be absolutely ashamed of yourself, and you're the ones that have to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I attacked a dead man because he stood for what he believed in. I'm sorry, I probably ran a little bit tonight, guys. Sorry for going live. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Y'all have a great night.